The way they just handled the reconnection with a former party who kicked out the main character at the start of a show has me saying this might be one of the best kicked out of a party anime I've seen. Because here's the thing. Despite the anime community collectively, when they initially saw the party kick him out, they said, "What a bunch of idiots, why would you kick away your healer?" Realistically, it made sense why they did what they did. He was an unlicensed healer, and after this episode, from their point of view, he was doing nothing but carrying their bags. Because he was so good at his job, he literally never showed signs he was healing them, right? But when you're a group trying to rise up the ranks of nobility, licensed healers and following the books, that's what nobility wants. If you have someone like Xenos around, you'd never get a job. Was it the wrong move? Of course it was, but I think prior to this episode, their reasoning actually made sense. Was it a dick move and were they wrong? Yeah, but, realistically, looking outside the gaze of this is a story for our enjoyment, if you were put in their shoes, it does actually make sense. But then when you see the fact that he was so good at his job that in the middle of fights, like their leader, right, he'd be getting cut and he would have it healed before he even realized he was cut. So from their point of view, because healing magic is, like they say in this episode, because they recruit a new healer, you need to take them to a hospital where they already have summoning circles or, spells already designed because you can't heal this injury. Our boy's healing cut off limbs. He was built different in a way that, he just looks like he's standing behind you. So the satisfaction when they start to realize after a couple of failed rodeos and being burned alive and wolves gnawing at your neck that, oh shit, maybe we do need the guy, but hey, you know what? He's probably doing pretty shitty. Oh, but he wasn't. Every single one of his girlfriends told him to eat shit, and the fact that our boy's like, hey, you know what? If I have some time, sure, I'll come on an adventure with you. He says something like 50,000 for every healing spell, 1 million for critical injuries. They don't got the cash for him. They definitely blew it. This is probably the biggest self-own I've seen all season and probably all year because they had $1 billion healer that was being paid scraps of bread and now they'll never have him again. That is just brilliant and satisfying. I, of course, though, have full thoughts over on my Patreon. You want to support my work, see my full and cut thoughts. We got those live reactions over there exclusively. I wasn't sure what we were going to get this week. I was like, okay, we've seemingly recruited all the girls. What's going to happen? And lo and behold, we're finally seeing the party. Seen a lot of people say, what about the party? What about the party? I mean, patience, young grasshopper. You don't just, throw all of your ideas in the first 2 episodes and you got nothing left to go with. And by the end of the episode, we got a giant golem that's wreaking havoc on the town. Is it his former party? I would suspect, but I don't know how he would have been involved in that. Unless he was, so down on his luck that he ran into a bad person, I don't know. But either way, it's gonna be fun to see what they do, because the thing that I like about the pacing and structuring of Xenos' character is that he was a poor kid on the street, had nowhere to go. And while, yes, he was being used and exploited for many years of his life, there's no denying the fact that being took off the streets was better than staying on the streets, as shitty as it was. And honestly, them firing him was probably the nicest thing they've ever done for him, even more so than probably barely paying him for all the amazing work he does. And the idea that he's built such a enjoyable life for him, where he can feel good, he helps people, he gets paid for his service, and while he still doesn't understand the true concept of healing in this world, of what most healers are actually capable of, because for him it's so effortless. Regrowing a limb, it's alright, I need a beer after that. No, that's probably 12 healers, 15 summoning circles, and a whole lot of belief in the Lord above to be able to do what he does, and even then it's not going to work. The fact that this is the type of guy who casually explored necromancy at one point just for the lulz. He doesn't understand a lot of things, but I like that it's not just him who didn't understand things. I already know there's going to be some people who get hung up on the fact that they didn't realize he healed them, but if you really do put yourself in their shoes, it would make sense. He didn't look like he did anything. He doesn't use it like chance. He doesn't verbally do anything. Most of the time, he was probably behind them. He never acknowledged the fact that he was healing them. So yeah, for us, it's why do we pay this kid who's going to get us in trouble with royalty and never does shit anyway? Okay, shit, we probably need a healer now. Okay, the healers aren't doing... Oh, shit, maybe he actually was doing something. Is it the biggest pie in the face moment? Yeah, but I do believe this is a very realistic outcome. And honestly, I kind of wish we had more kicked out of a party shows that do something kind of like this with a twist you don't usually see, because then it just makes the whole concept of why he was kicked out of his party all the more enjoyable. And I think it was really funny seeing the fact that they went literally one by one. At first, this man literally has the shield hero mentality of like, spear hero, bow, and, all them being like, oh, this woman's gonna join my harem. And she's like, bitch, you're dumb. Get out before we kill you. All right, the wolves. Bitch, you're dumb. Get out. And I love too that the best girl, Orc, is like, hey, if you ever come near him, I will make sure you're dead. I'm like, oh my god. The best too is when he tried to pull the sword, his fourth girlfriend pops up with the Glock and shoots him, and then says, I'm going to arrest you. This man has no loyalty to anyone other than himself because he immediately tried to throw his teammate under the bus. And it's insane too because burning and like seeing some nasty wounds is one thing. When I'm seeing like wolves like latch onto their necks and shit, I'm like, okay, they ain't getting out of this one alive. And honestly, I just think they did a great job, all things considered. It's a twist on what you normally see. Usually when the party gets brought back into the equation, it's usually like, oh, we don't need you, or I'm jealous you're doing good. And then like something stupid happens where they realize they need him. I like the fact that they had multiple missions where they were just getting their shit pushed in, and the fact that they brought another healer who was a licensed, trained healer. By all accounts, she probably is talented and considered decent in this world, and she's like, I can patch him up, but give him to a hospital where you can actually heal him. They realized they were shit out of luck, and honestly, I'm not going to be surprised if they all did. The only thing I want to see is I really want to see him witness our boy regrow a limb. Now, here's the thing. Will it be himself? Maybe. If that's the case, he's going to charge him an arm and a leg, no pun intended, to heal him after the fact, like give him the bill. But most likely, he's probably going to die witnessing just how talented he is, and that could be incredibly satisfying. But either way, our boy's living his best life. He's got women for days, he's got a family and group of friends, and honestly, the fact that the general people, too, are just incredibly kind to him. And I don't know, it seems silly, but like the fact that he did offer to go with them, but he charged them the actual fair price is pretty damn brilliant. I'm loving this show. I definitely think it's criminally slept on. I've had people say, oh, is this your guilty pleasure? And like, no, it's not guilty pleasure. It's a legitimately great show. Like this is a good show, a good watch. It's very similar to Level 2 Super Cheat Powers in the way that you think it's going to be super basic, and then it runs with comedy and fun factors that you don't always see. Like the voice actor for the scumbag, the amount of times he almost just said Nani with how exasperated he was and just how silly he was acting was so great before he became scumbag energy. It was just that good. Of course, so let me know what you're thinking down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new around here. Of course, ring that bell. And like I mentioned, we got those full live reactions over on my Patreon. And hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got Dylan Miles, Jonas Pierre, Stephen Thomas, MJ Minion, Brian, Matthew, Azoff Montgomery, MiG021, and we also got James Wright. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. You all have a good one.